Alright, so slightly later than usual, depending on what you view usual as at this point, but there is a reason. I've spent the last couple of hours trying to demold this because you know how last time I forgot to put mold release on the silicone before I fiberglassed it, and then it was a massive pain trying to demold it? I did exactly the same thing again. So that's what I've been doing. But I decided I'd save the silicon peel the stream. I thought that would be nice. Oh hey, how's it going? Thank you. Hopefully this all comes good. So we shall see. They very gingerly start peeling at it. It should be completely fine, but I'm chancing absolutely nothing. It's kind of stuck on some of the bits on the inside, which I expected in fairness. All of that edge is really pretty much fine. So I'll just have a look at the other edge. Make sure I'm not going to tear anything. A little bit sketch, but I can see it, so I can sort it. Right. You got here very quickly today. I tend to expect I'm going to be on my own for the first half hour at least when I start a stream. So it's nice to have company. Deals with all of that edge. Was needle felting and watching the video. Ah, okay. Awesome. What you making? Figured I'd pop over. Oh, thanks very much. Right. I should now be able to peel this off. Right. See how lucky I get. Alright. Seems pretty okay. I'm still gonna take this slow. Okay, that's the first thing. The bloopy? Yo! That's awesome. I realised you were talking about the Lord of the Mountain the other day, and it completely escaped my brain what that was, and then I remembered later, I was like, ah, for God's sake, yeah. So I know exactly what that is. Yeah, bloopies are awesome. You'll have to show me when you're done. Right. Ta-da! Here is a thing. That's not too bad, actually. I don't mind that. Kind of annoying to have a bunch of mold release still stuck on here, but I think there are probably worse things to try and clear up. Looks good from what I can see. Thanks. It is kind of difficult to tell, I think. Not sure how well it comes across on the camera, but you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Right. I got a few bits I want to try and clean up in that before I use it. And then I'm going to set the original piece off to one side. I don't like getting rid of any of these kinds of things until I'm sure I'm not going to need them again. So I just hoard it. And you use it multiple times. So this, in theory, I can use forever. The other piece was just to get this. So I shouldn't need it again. But if something happens to this, it would be really bad to not have the original. So yeah, that's how that is. Now I'm going to go through and tidy up some of the inside so it's less annoying when I'm fiberglassing it. But I'm actually going to leave some of the janky edges this time. I found they were quite helpful in getting the jacket off from the outside. Aha! So I knew you'd ask me that. So before I started, literally like, what, 10 minutes ago, I had a glass of water and a snack. So, aha! I actually have done the thing this time. But mainly so that I can just keep going. I want to try and get this done as early as I can today. It's going to be really hot again. So I can kind of only really work while it's dark. Well played. Thank you. Probably leave most of this. Right. It's going to be annoying trying to get in if I don't take away some of this. Get in the way. So your new job, what are the hours like for that? It's a part-time thing. But did they give you any specifics? Like, are you meant to do it as like a weekend thing, or do you feel lonely while streaming, or do you not care? It's a tricky one. Like, I don't really care, but also it's difficult to be engaging when I'm on my own, because I kind of just get lost in my own head. I'm used to making stuff, but I'm not used to making stuff with an audience. So I don't mind being on my own, but it's much easier with. But also because I stream like super irregularly at the minute, it's hard to gain an audience, I suppose. Small business, they're doing well. So 8:30 to 3, cool, nice. That sounds pretty decent. And if it's your field of interest, then it's you know all good stuff. See, I remembered that bot after I finished streaming last time, and then 5 minutes later, gone from my head again. Do a lot of odd jobs, make shirts, little bookkeeping. Ah, okay. So lots of bits and pieces here and there. That's good. It's nice to do various things. I think it's nicer to do lots of bits and pieces rather than one thing all the time. Not really want to do, but like helping my boss feels good. Well, fair enough. Every little helps. The main thing is if it feels good, because take it from me, there's nothing worse than doing a job that makes you feel bad. Not worth it. Ah, sometimes. Eh, these things happen. What have you been up to? I have been doing lots of random things. Last couple of days have been a little chaotic. I've been working on this every morning, and then it kind of depends on how much time I have left in the day. I never really stop working, not really. If it's stuff like this, then, you know, I get a lot of value out of this. So I don't mind working on creative stuff. But, although I do get kind of caught up in it and I lose track of time. I realised the other day I'd spent 14 and a half hours working, and then I only realised because I stopped and was like, oh man, like I'm not really sure where I am right now. What's up with that? And then I realised, okay, cool. Maybe I should just stop. Maybe that would be a good idea. Hard to find a balance when you're kind of basically your own boss. Wow, yeah. It was. I don't recommend it particularly. Not even with the stuff that you enjoy. I do that to my eyes won't see straight. Yeah. So my last cosplay, I if I said if I said Baldur's Gate 3, would you be familiar with that? Because my last cosplay was Astarion in the Wave Mother robe, and I ended up painting something, and I spent so long. It was the shoulders, and I ended up spending so long painting these shoulders that I I I have no idea how this even happens, but I gave myself a blister on my eye. Never played it, but I've seen it. Okay. Um, I'll show you. I'll try and show you. If I can crank up the brightness on my phone, I'll try and show you one of the pictures. It was my first ever competition outfit, so I was pretty pleased with it. But I have no idea whether this is going to work or not. Kind of focuses, it kind of doesn't. But that was it. Oh, there we go. Kind of, yeah. That was the thing. And those shoulders, good God, I spent such a long time painting those. Thanks. Oh yeah, it was one of those outfits I was constantly holding the skirt down on. Thanks. Yeah, I didn't know it was possible to get a blister on your eyeball, but apparently that's a thing. And it was only a few days before the con, so I was like sweating because I had to wear red contact lenses. So I was like, I had like eye drops, and I was wearing sunglasses, and like I was being so careful for those few days before con. Ridiculous. Feel that, yeah. See, with this one, I wanted to get this done way before con, so I've just been kind of relentlessly working on it. Because the armor is the bit that I'm most nervous about because it's, chemicals and stuff. I can't rush those. They set their own times. So I wanted to get all of this done and out the way first. And then the rest of it, it's like, okay, I've done that before. So I can kind of, I don't have to worry so much about that. I've got a rough idea of how long I can make that take. The contacts hurt. So they didn't hurt me. I know some people really can't do lenses. The main thing for me was that they dried my eyes out so much that, like, actually, how grossed out you get. I do have a fairly funny picture somewhere of me putting drops in my eyes, walking around the convention. Not very awesome. Let me try and find it because it is funny. Uh, where would I have saved it? There we go. So, okay, it's not as bad as I remember, to be fair. But this was my life during the con. Just my mate holding my little pocket mirror and me squeezing stuff into my eyes so I could see again. It was funny. But that was the main thing for me. So like they didn't hurt, but they dry your eyes out so badly that like you can't see anymore. At least they did for me. So I had to stop every so often to rehydrate my eyeballs. But that was it, really. Like they're not super comfortable or anything, but after a while I got pretty used to them, so I didn't mind. I want to do the full black ones, but it's scary. So for this cosplay, I have to do like whiteout lenses, and that'll be the first time I try those kinds of lenses. And I'm a little, I'm a little apprehensive because so I'm not doing like full blind lenses because then you actually can't see, but they're like the grid ones, so you can just about see, but from a distance, it just looks white. And I steered away from lenses for ages because I just was like, no way am I touching my eyes. But you'd be surprised how quickly you get used to it. And I will say, like, my strategy for contact lenses is rather than like looking forward as you try to put them in, if you look off to one side and put them in like the outer corner of your eyes, and then like blink a ton, like that works for me. And it still takes me a while, but it does eventually work. Good to know. I hope it helps. OC cosplay? Um, so you can do it. People do it, and it's fine. Like there are people who go as OCs. Like I did the Baldur's Gate 3 gathering for Comic Con, and there were a bunch of people there that had gone as like their OCs from Baldur's Gate, and that was fine. I will say though, if you're like a known character, that goes down very well. But it depends what you're going for. Like if you're just going for the fun of it and you want to be an OC, then go nuts. I know for me, I like going as known characters because I I enjoy feeling like a mini celebrity. I'll own it. I do like it. I like being stopped for pictures and stuff like that. But it's great to talk to people, and I think really like the big thing about going as like a known character is when people stop and recognize who you're meant to be, and they appreciate the work you've put into stuff. That's the biggie for me. That's what I'm really about. Is it's the appreciation of the work. Because it's like, you know, my my grandparents are great, but they have no idea what I'm doing. So they appreciate it, and same with like my immediate friends. Like I think that they're used to it. You know, they're used to the kinds of things that I get up to. So it's nice to be able to take all my hard work out into the world and have people appreciate just how much work I've actually put in. Like my look for a picture, but it must have been someone else. Does happen. That happened to a friend of mine. I was with him at the time, and we were all just like, "Oh, this is uncomfortable." So it happens. But my like ultimate convention story really was the outfit that I just showed you. When I went to like the fan meet as this character, I had no idea that the guy that wrote that character into the game, uh, he was at the fan meet, and we were all stood around taking pictures, you know. And then when we started splitting off, he came up to me, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't realize until afterwards. But he came up to me and was was totally in love with the outfit, and he said that like I was the best Astarion that he'd ever seen, and I had just kind of brought this character to life for him, and I was grateful. I was like, cool, that's awesome. I'm glad you like it. And then I realized afterwards that this is the guy that wrote the character, telling me that I was the best embodiment of his character that he'd seen. Blew my tiny mind. Like, nothing will ever top that for me. That is the ultimate appreciation of my work. And I was, like, actually beside myself. So sweet. Honestly, like, it's the coolest thing to ever happen to me. Genuinely. Like, I was, God, it was awesome. Like, as much as I was stoked competing in that outfit, like, that one interaction with the writer was nothing beats that. As someone who makes stuff, that is the ultimate, really. So I think the thing with cosplay is it's always down to like what you want to get out of it. That kind of determines what you end up making. And I think for me, it's always down to like a love of a character. That's what inspires me to do stuff to begin with. And then wanting to recreate that as faithfully as possible. I've always been a real stickler for accuracy. I love putting in a lot of time, being really kind of fussy with stuff, which of course works against me a whole bunch when there are deadlines, but that's just part of the suffering. I expect the suffering. Kind of a requirement at this point. But yeah, it just depends what you want, basically. If you're just going for fun and you fancied cosplaying at the same time, do what you like. Like the mate that I go with, actually, there'll be pictures of us together. So he's not a cosplayer, um, but he wanted to cosplay. Uh, there'll be pics of us together. This is an amazing image, actually. So this is one of my favorite photos of all time. On the walk, there's a bit of a walk to get to the main entrance, the the venue for Comic Con in London, and the mate I go with makes a really good four. So one of my uh, one of my favorite images of all time of us together is this, just walking toward the entrance. He borrowed my sunglasses, and it's such a good picture. Actually nuts. So like he'll do stuff like that, and he looks brilliant. So it doesn't matter what it is. It just depends what you're going for. Like he's not going for cosplay. He just wanted to do something. So it's honestly totally up to you. Mood, right? Genuinely, it was. actually immaculate. But he looks fantastic, and it really suits him. He really enjoys it. So that's just kind of become his thing now. Like he's just kind of known as Thor. It's brilliant. But he didn't make any of it. He just bought it online and then just wears it to each con we go to. Because cosplay's not his thing, but he still wanted to be kind of part of the scene. I suppose my point is, if you want to be an OC, be an OC. It's whatever brings you the most enjoyment. But for me, that's always how faithfully I can recreate something, how accurately I can do something. So I will always, always deliberately choose characters that suit me. I want to be accurate. Love creature design. Ah, okay. Skull Kid. Oh my god, I'd love to do a Skull Kid. I would absolutely love to do a Skull Kid. I have so many ideas for how I'd do it. But then I want to make it, but I don't want to make it for me, if that makes sense. Like, I'd want to make it for somebody else to wear. Because, again, I always pick stuff that will suit me. And Skull Kid wouldn't suit me. But I'd still love to make it. Ah, yes. I love new materials. New materials and new processes. Any and all tools. I get extremely excited looking at stuff like that. I'm one of those people that's like, I've got such a thing for possibilities. There are few things in life that are more exciting than possibility. The untapped potential. You're not short? No. I mean, I'm not. I'm not tall either. I'm very average. About 5'9". Very, very average. 5'9", and a medium in t-shirts. Just about the most average male you can get, ironically. Hoard things like a dragon, yeah, same. I hoard materials. I'm a really prolific material hoarder. I have boxes and boxes of old plastic containers and bits of foam. cardboard boxes, because I use all of it. So it's not even like I can justify chucking it away, because the amount of times I go through those boxes, like, aha, I have something for this exact scenario. It's one of those, like, if I could justify it, it's not hoarding. 5'2", goblin size. See, that's, this is what I mean, like, Skull Kid would work for a smaller person. Definitely. 100%. It will look so much better. But then again, it still depends. Like, that's, that's coming from me as someone who values accuracy. Like, that doesn't have to be the thing. It just is for me. So if you ever decide to do Skull Kid, poke me, because I could probably help. Actually, is part of the business I'm looking to set up, is coaching people through things like that, giving people advice on creative projects, and talking through how I do stuff if it were me. If you do it, then go with your brother. Totally. It's always more fun to go with people. Like, going on your own is fine, but it's definitely more fun with other people. Especially people who like the same sorts of things. Because I've gone with friends before who aren't, super into the same stuff, and it's still better than going on your own. But like, if you go with people that are like-minded, then you will have the best time. Definitely. Any ideas on the mask? I know what to make it out of, but it's not heavy, but I can still see. So there. Okay. So I would suggest. I know it's boring, and everyone always says the same, but EVA phone, honestly, will be the easiest way of doing it. 100%. I, at some point, want to make my own Majora's Mask, and when I do, it will end up being a thing that I sculpt and then mold and then cast and, all the nonsense. Frame. Um, you shouldn't need one, but you could always back it with something like Warbler, which is just thermoplastic. Because that was always a strap for time armor. If you line it with Warbler, then it's a lot stronger. So if you use a thick enough base, you probably won't need anything. So long as you're, vaguely careful with it. That's probably the best strat. EVA and Warbler. And then at some point I'll get around to making my own version. I've already got a Deku mask that I've made in the past. I just need to make more casts. I've got the mold, so it's doable. I've just not got around to making more of them. But I was really happy with how that came out, so Majora's Mask is definitely on my to-do list. Right, I should probably stop messing with this now, because it's probably fine. Not sure what to do about... Oh, okay, I can peel these off. Right. Try and peel off a bunch of the mold release that's in here. I feel like that's going to end up being a problem later. I don't have time for that. I use one of these. Right, well, guess I'll just be tidying this up for a while. That's no biggie. Yeah, I'd say if you're looking into it, Google, let me put it in chat so you know. Look that up. Have a little look into it and see what you think. But I think that would be the best packing. That would be my approach. Annoying that this has a load of mold release still stuck to it. It's going to take longer. But I know what will happen if I leave it. It'll end up on the final thing and I'll be super annoyed. So I'm going to have to deal with this now. Oh, well, it is what it is. Brush isn't passing as much as I want it to. That one's better. Definitely look into it. Good. Let me know how you get on. Because I've actually never used Warbler myself. So I wouldn't be able to give you any tips. It's been on my to-do list for a while. But I've never had a reason to try it. Really. It was a consideration when I was doing this. But in the end, I decided, nah, I'll just buy the glass. You know, I like to make my life difficult. Why not? I will say, as much as I love a big cosplay project, I am looking forward to being able to just make random stuff again. That glass dagger that I still haven't finished. My favorite animal. Um, ooh, probably. I have to make sure I'm getting this right because there's more than one. Like, pretty sure it's this. Hmm, yeah. Yes. It is these guys. Golden Lion Tamarins. They're awesome. So cool. I think it's just because they remind me of like kabuki actors. They're extremely awesome, and I'm a big fan. What about you? Cool little guy, right? They're awesome. There are so many. Exactly. I was going through my head and was like, oh man, like I love white ruffed lemurs as well, and Arctic foxes. It's like how am I supposed to choose? But I'm settling. I'm settling with the Cameron because they're kind of majestic. I dig that. Birds of prey. Ooh. Speaking of things that are majestic, definitely birds of prey. It's extremely difficult to get off. Debating whether I even bother with the rest. I just see how this goes. I should be able to brush it off afterwards anyway, right? Maybe I'll just get the worst of it off and then walk away. I'm going to be here for another solid day if I try to get everything on. Slow one. Red-tailed fox. I will look up glowworm. Oh, oh, they're like the tiny snakes. Yes, they're very cool. Red-tailed. Yeah, hawks are cool. Yes, glowworms I have. Well, I haven't like seen in person, but I've seen them before. It's so cute. Legless lizard native to Scotland. Ah, didn't know the a Scotland thing. Interesting. Very few types that live very cool bugs and other small things. Well, fair enough. Yeah, they're pretty neat. Like micro snakes. Snakes are cool. A lot of lizards are very cool, to be fair. I'm debating whether I uh, do a test first. I don't really want to use fiberglass for it though. What I might do is mix up some fast cast just so that I can pull away some of the extra nonsense that's on here. Treat it almost like a test run, but not really. Mostly just cleaning it up before I use it. Might end up being quicker. I think I'll do that. I think I'll go through, try and dislodge a lot of this, then whack some fast cast in here just to kind of gather up the rest of it. Unless, where did I put this? The soft brush like a toothbrush. A toothbrush would be a decent idea actually. Don't think there are any out here that aren't covered in grease. Aha, this works. Perfect. Good. I can just do this. Tape to the rescue. I don't really want to waste time and materials if I can help it. So tape works perfectly. Good. Will it work just as it is? Kinda, but it works better if I've scraped at it first. Yeah, okay. Well, scraping tape. There we go. New method unlocked. Did you see that? Is my playlist leaked? Might be done. Tape. Oh, it's just duct tape. I'm trying to think if there's like a brand, or another word for it. There probably is, but I can't think of it. It's basically just particularly sticky tape. That's all. So if I scrape at the mold release first, then it picks it up real nicely. So that's a plus. US2. Well, I wasn't sure whether you'd have like a specific brand or something, and not like flex tape. That's that's too strong. That's the power of the gods, and it should never have been given to us. Flex tape. I know it's an old meme, but it's one that I enjoy. It was funny then, it's still funny now, in my opinion. I'm not going to be sawing any boats in half. So I don't need it. Although maybe one day. Don't rule it out. The possibility. I keep doing stranger and stranger things. So maybe at some point there'll be a need for me to saw a boat in half. Dad and I got some to fix the house. Just to pop the hole in it. Jeez. That is that is a great shame. That stuff's supposed to work underwater. I thought it was funny. Oh yeah, definitely funny. I feel like things like that, like you're supposed to test those things. You know, you're supposed to push that kind of stuff to its limits. There's no way that you're not. Like whenever a company claims that something's indestructible, like the first thing you do is you try to break it. Those are the rules. I don't make the rules. They are just the rules. Like I remember my dad used to be a firefighter, and at one point he got a cover for his phone that he had foolishly told his firefighter friends was supposed to be indestructible. Next thing he knows, they've taken his phone, put it in front of the wheels of a fire truck, and have driven the truck over it to test whether it's indestructible. Like you don't tell your friends that something you own is indestructible. It's a bad idea. And it's an even worse idea if they have access to a fire truck. For the record, it survived. So fair play, but also I wouldn't have been willing to run that risk personally. Yeah, it was ridiculous. Yeah, literally. Like I don't know why he thought that was gonna end any kind of well. Stop to get a drink, bear with. And also add a song to a playlist. But yeah, don't tell your friends that something you own is indestructible. That's just that's just dumb. Like a mate of mine, he we would have still been in school, but we were out. We were out late at night, and we were going through our local park, and my mate had a torch. He claimed this torch was indestructible in front of all of us. And then, rather than us deciding to try and test this, he thought he would then immediately try and prove the point by throwing this torch onto concrete. He broke the torch. In fairness, he was very drunk. As were all the rest of my friends. I don't drink. But we all thought it was absolutely hilarious. He was so confident in his drunken stupor, and we were absolutely crying, laughing. I wonder if he's still got the pieces of that torch. I should ask him. That was a good evening. Those were the days. Simpler times. Trying to think what other random stuff we used to get up to. It's tricky because we're all nerds, so our lives aren't particularly exciting. Like we're not risk takers. We're not hooligans. We are very vanilla. We've been up to some shenanigans. I just can't think of anything particularly. Most of the stories are just random evenings that we'd spent together that devolved into something a bit odd. Like we'd gone round a friend's house one evening because it was I think it was a SpaceX launch that we wanted to watch a live stream of together. So we were gonna have like a watch party at a friend's house, and then like 10 minutes before this rocket is supposed to launch, the guy whose house it was just like got up and left. We had no idea why. Again, everyone was drunk, so that definitely is, you know, why. But in the end, like everyone just left to try and find him. So I'd said like, that's okay. I'll stay here and man the house so that there's somebody back here. And then it was just me on my own watching this rocket launch. Like, huh, I hope they found him. I'll be heading out in a minute. Ah, fair enough. You did almost die once. I did, yes. I did, in fact, almost die one time. And if that ends up being the only time I am cool with that. I am very cool with that. I definitely don't recommend nearly dying. Not not great. That's definitely like the most entertaining story. Well, the most entertaining story that I can discuss on a live stream. I have one that is more entertaining, but there's no way. I can't I can't talk about that. That is that is a whole heap of TOS, I assume. Do I play Elden Ring? I had started to play it, and then I never finished it. So I know bits and pieces, but not like a whole bunch. Boyfriend and I play together, it's great. Yes. I in the end I wound up playing it with someone that was a friend of mine at the time, and it was a lot more fun when we played it together because we just were constantly in. It's definitely one of those games like you either have to be very patient and like just kind of good at that kind of game, or you have to be a complete muppet playing it with someone else who is also a complete muppet. Like those are the only two ways of enjoying that. But I've not played it for ages. It's not too bad. A muppet. Look, that's the nicest way I can phrase it. Okay. I don't want to call anyone idiots because you know not everyone's an idiot necessarily, but also it's a lot more fun if you are. So I'm settling for Muppet. Okay. Looks great. Thank you. I'm hoping that this won't take me too much longer to clean up, and then I can get on with actually casting the real thing. Using Muppet in your day now? Good. I'm really stoked.
that I can impart some of my vocabulary onto somebody else. That was something that I was extremely pleased about. So I think it would have been like in my last week that I was at my last job. Um, I overheard a friend of mine refer to someone as an entity, and I stopped dead and I stared at her and was like, "That's my word." She was she was creased up. But yeah, yeah, no, this is your fault. I've never called anyone an entity before in my life. And I was so proud of myself. Like, good. That's my legacy. That's what I've left with my old work lot. My weird words for stuff. So go out there and call someone a muppet today. That's my message for the day. Identify the muppets in your life and call them out. Just make sure you've planned an exit route so you can bolt as soon as you do. You got one muppet in your life? Good. That's better than none. Muppets make the world a more enjoyable place. What is life without a little bit of silly? Friggin' lame. Nincompoop is also a good one. That is a good one. Now I'm trying to think of other words. The friend again. This is the same friend with the indestructible torch. He is quite partial to calling people cheese sandwiches, and he's got quite a not posh, but he speaks quite well. So when he does call people cheese sandwiches, it's just like the most British thing I've ever witnessed. He's got one of those voices, like he, he for a while he was actually recording himself reading audiobooks because he's got a fantastic voice. And we'd said, if there are any jobs for like voiceovers on trains, he'd be great for that. I'd love to hear that. If I were tech savvy enough and I had a car, I'd want him to be my sat nav voice. It'd be amazing. He's definitely the most interesting individual in my circles. He's got some fairly immaculate quotes. I have to go back through my Discord pins to find him now. think it's just the way he says stuff. That's what gets me. Because if anyone else said it, it wouldn't be nearly as funny. But because it's him, it is hilarious immediately. It's all about the delivery. But it's only ever really funny when he's not trying. It's like, a lot of the times he'll say something, we'll think it's hilarious, and then he'll try to replicate it, and we're like, no, 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 no. No, because now you're trying. That's completely different. First time run was an accident, and that's why it was so funny. You can't recreate that. I think all of the shenanigans of that friendship group tend to come from him. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, he is kind of just like the most chaotic entity within that circle. Like one of my favorite Snapchats of all time was from him, and it was so random, and I don't know. I think it was a combination of like, it caught me so off guard, and also it was so violent. It just became one of my favorite things ever, and I don't think he saved it, so I can never see it again, and I'm gutted. It was a random Snapchat of him just. It was a shot of his stairwell back at his parents' house, and it's just focused on these stairs for a bit, and then suddenly his Wi-Fi router is just launched down these stairs, and massive crash at the bottom, and then it ends. And it's so funny. It's just so funny. And I'm so upset that he can't find it. Because it was incredible. There was no explanation. There was no context. It was just him lobbing his Wi-Fi router down the stairs. Amazing. I don't know. I think it's one of those things like, he kind of had to be there, but God, it was funny. There's not been a Snapchat of that magnitude that I've received since. No offense to all my other mates, but Alex definitely has the crown for my favourite Snapchat ever. We got some good ones though between us. There have been some very funny snaps. There's enough daylight outside yet for me to open the door. I don't enjoy having chemicals locked in one place, but I also don't particularly want to invite moths, so I may not get an awful lot of choice on that one. people still use Snapchat? They must do, right? I'm sounding a lot older than I am here. But I'm just wondering because some people like WhatsApp is the thing. Cheese sandwich, exactly. Cheese sandwich is an immaculate insult. I think people still use Snapchat. I don't know. It went through a phase where it was like a really big thing, and like a load of celebrities had Snapchat, and it was just like, ugh, why would you want that? That feels way too personal. Like I use Snapchat exclusively for sending shit posts. That's it. That's all I use it for. Well, and also receiving shit posts, I guess. I only ever have close friends on there. Yes, you do. Good. Okay. Sister does. Okay. Because there's a workmate of mine that I have on Snapchat, and they definitely still use it quite prolifically. But they're also a little bit younger than me. Not lots, but a little bit. So, I'm not sure whether they're a decent barometer. But I'm not sure, whether kids these days are still using other Snapchats. Do the kids still send shit posts? Or do they just like, old man with your 6 p.m. bedtime? Hey, yo, don't call me out right now. That's too real. Oh no, with my white hair. Oh, I'm not helping the stereotype, am I? Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Do do the kids these days still create their own shit posts, or do they just send each other memes? Because my workmate will send me memes, and it's like I'll share memes through like Instagram or whatever, just as I'm scrolling and I find stuff. Cool. But as far as like creating your own shit post, that's always been a Snapchat thing for me. And I have a real thing. I love like super ugly, awkward, slightly blurry, and out of focus, like candid pictures of people. They're my favorites. If I can catch someone off guard and it looks terrible, cinema. And videos of random crap. Yeah. No, I love it. I hang on, let me. I have a folder on my phone that's called shit posts. Let me see if I can find some. There's an amazing picture actually. It'll definitely be in shit posts. An amazing picture of me from a mate's wedding. Actually, there's the meme. There's- so a mate of mine made an entire meme out of it. See, I stuff like that. I'm huge on. That is an amazing use of Snapchat. So, from a mate's wedding, there was a wedding photographer, and I'm in a lot of pictures. And a mate of mine made an entire meme about it because I have so many faces, and it's just they're so sketch, and I love them. Will it focus? There we go. Yeah. So I love stuff like that where I'm just caught with my face being so dumb. It's my favorite. I am the biggest fan of exactly. I'm the biggest fan of homemade shit posts. They are the best. So good. So I don't know. Do the kids these days still make their own fun, or do they just share other people's? Not that there's anything wrong with sharing other people's. I have a real soft spot for those sweet homemade memes. I don't know whether it's fallen out of fashion because it's never stopped with my friendship group. Right, that is looking considerably better. I am much less concerned. There are still a few bits here and there, but I don't think end up being a problem. Just send videos, don't have Snapchat. Oh, fair enough. I don't I don't use social media for like its intended purpose. Like I don't use it to be social. I just use it for shit posts. It's like the whole doom scrolling thing. That's it's not really a problem for me because I'm not there for that. Like I'm usually just on there because I should probably post something so people know what I'm up to because I'm bad at social media and I need to remind myself to do that stuff. And then while I'm there, I'll have a quick flick through some stuff. If I find something silly, I'll send it to a couple of friends, and then that's sort of it. Like, I don't enjoy spending time on these things. And that's just on Insta. Like, I don't have Twitter or X or whatever. Stopped using Facebook many years ago. That's all old people now, anyway. Shiny light's got me, I'm a moth.
Ah, well.
It gets most people. But you're old? Wow. Ouch. I see how it is. Nice. Great. Well, now I expect memes about it. Give me my first channel meme. Do it. Dare you. I recognize this song. Who's this by? Oh, it's Sweet. It's fun. I'll have it. Yeah, as I was saying, first channel meme. Go on, go for it. I've already got my workmate that bullies me for being old, despite only being a few years younger than me. So, fine. Fine. But if we're gonna bully me, we do it properly. Cosplay 100-year-old vampire. Hey, look. I know I asked for this. Already too real. I have no defense. You're right. Like, oh, why do I pick characters? Because I think they'll suit me. Let's dissect that real quick. I have no defense for this. Can't get out of this, you're right. You're right, I absolutely can't. I just have to take the L here. I have done this to myself. My own fault for being a book. Too easy to read. It's your old bruh. So brutal. So brutal. I forgot I was filtering chemicals over here. Now, can I open this door? Yeah. Good. Please. Because it absolutely stinks in here. I've been wearing a respirator most of the time anyway. But I had to take it off to drink. I'd still have it on if it was, you know, actually dangerous, but it isn't at this point. So I will be putting it on once I start mixing chemicals up for realsies. You're not a book, you're a stone tablet. Yo, that is creatively savage. Yo, that. I like that. I like that. A lot of thought went into that. I rate it. That is a well considered insult. 10 out of 10. God, how savage. Okay, well, I'm just gonna walk away from that, I guess. Uh, right. So, here's the thing that I made earlier that I ended up separating off cam because it was taking me ages. But this is my fiberglass jacket for my silicone. This is what stops it wobbling everywhere. And I've got these bolts on it to keep these two halves together because I learned from last time. Last time they refused to stay together. So this should actually work. So if I put my silicone in here, it should then stay. theory. How I approach this is another matter entirely. Put this upside down for starters. This is why I marked each side so I knew which one went where. I remember the struggle was real. God, it was just awful. So, I've decided to learn from my mistakes. A rarity for sure. Ah, hell yeah. I don't know why I didn't think it was going to work, but I was not confident. But it would seem that things are fitting as they should currently. Feel about try and get these locators in place. Go on. Slide in there, you know you want to. Make me poke you with something. Yes, I will. There we go. No. Okay, well, one side works really well. He says. It's working selectively well. Okay. Okay, well that works. That works. That works. So, can I get these to work? That's the real question, because those have okay. It is getting there. There's one that's not quite. It's really annoying because the ones around it have, but I have to fix this one. One. Okay, in fairness, this isn't as much of a struggle as it was last time. Last time this was heinous. Okay. That's just this one. Then after that, they all look like they're sitting pretty flat. Getting there. Okay, that doesn't actually seem too bad. I'm willing to go with that. I think that works. That is way less struggle than it was last time. Mostly just faffing with the locators, but that's fine, I can do that. Trying to get everything to sit flat. Well, not flat, but seems pretty decent. Sure. It fits. Yes! Huzzah! What a relief. Right. Next order of business. I need to have things. What things did I use last time? Probably reels of tape and lids from spray paint. Probably what I did. There are a bunch of nails in here. Probably something like that. Balancing it on that is not going to be fun, but I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do much different. Okay. So, sketch. It works. It works. Right. I'm going to take off the fiberglass gloves because they really didn't save my hands a whole bunch anyway. So, oh well. Right. There is one in here that's still a bit lumpy. Okay. Is that one? All of those are okay. One's staying ish. Double check this one real quick. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Right. There we go. That fixed it. Okay. Nice. Nice. I wonder. No. Okay, that's fine then. So, trouble is, I want to use this tape. I've got to try and get some of the crud out of here before I spray it with mold release. But, for the most part, this looks pretty decent. So I'm going to take a quick picture because I'll forget if I don't. Epic. Alright. Epic and cool. Crud out here with more tape. And then I've got to make sure I'm securing this properly before I actually start working on it. Because I would be doing myself no favours if I tried to work on it right now. That's pretty okay. Right. One more pass, and then I think it's probably in a pretty good position to actually start doing the thing. It's only that one at the top that pops out. I can deal with that. I'll do the same strat that I did last time and start with like a bridge across the back. And work my way around. Gel coat the whole thing first anyway. Probably gotta get going. Lovely chatting. Hope it goes well. Looks great. Thanks. And yes, it was nice to chat. I enjoyed it also. I was gonna probably pull the stream here anyway, because it's been a couple hours, and then start a new one for actually making the thing. So, checks out. All works as it should. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, insulting me. Had a very good time. Very creative insults. Always fun. Have a good one. Bye. Yep, catch you in a bit. And old man, yo, had to get one in before you left, huh? Nice. I like your style. I will catch you in a bit. Don't forget meds and water. Yep, fair play. More than fair. I will go and consume more water, and then I will come back pretty much immediately to crack on with more stuff. But I'll catch you around. And yeah, have a good one. And see you in a bit.